Assalamu alaikum students and welcome back to new video. Previously we have seen in previous videos major crops grown in India, importance of those crops as well as suitable climate, types of soil, right, as well as ranking in the world in different years. So such things about different crops we have seen earlier. And today we are going to talk about technological and institutional reforms in agriculture sector. Why so? Before we begin about reforms, let's talk about that agriculture in India. As we know that agriculture has been practiced in India from thousands of years. And during all those centuries, agriculture remained an important, I would like to say that the most important occupation for the Indian society. But still, usage of those agriculture actually sustain on that natural fertility of land as well as depend upon monsoon, right? And those all primitive techniques like use of bullocks as well as other animals, right? In spite of development of source of irrigation facilities, most of the farmers in large part of country still depend upon the monsoon and natural fertility of land. They are not able to use modern means of farming, rather they still depend on the natural fertility of land as well as on the monsoon. So for a growing population, this poses a serious challenge because day by day we people need more agricultural products like for food as well as for raw materials in industries. We need more agricultural products. More amount of production is required because of growing population, and agriculture is important for export as well. So day by day here production is required higher and on other hands we can say the most important, more than 60% of total Indian population still depend on agriculture sector. About it we have seen in the sectors of the Indian economy, we have learned about it, importance of agriculture as well for employment. Yes, definitely, because more than 60% of total population depend on agriculture sector, and other purposes we have seen earlier like for filling demand of food of to the growing population, for export, for industries, right? So here it needs some serious technical and institutional changes are required. We need to take more production from the same piece of land. So how can we do it? Government earlier had taken many of the reforms. Let's talk about those reforms, which or steps towards reform which taken by the government. Reforms in the technological and institutional, both the parts. So let's see. Here collectivization. Second, consolidation of land holding, cooperation and abolition of jamindaris. So those were the steps which got priority in the institutional reforms. So collectivization. Here we know that people have small piece of land and growing various crops on small piece of land not feasible, and so thus productivity remains less. So collectivization brings farmers together in the collective base if they grow crops, right? If cultivation on the collectivization base, so that would better for all those who can take part in collectivization. That is first collectivization. Second, consolidation of holding, ownership of land. Here we know that earlier we have seen that due to inheritance, right to inheritance, here pieces of land divided among those people or had less amount of land. So consolidation means those joining of land, those who have small part of land, they join the land and together in the holding consolidation join in the land. And that way if they utilize land, so it would better for increasing productivity of land. Third, here abolition of jamindari. today also we have seen that Jamindari system, which is the actually old system. But in this system, Jamindar who has that large land, so much land in the whole village, hundreds of acre lands, and a Jamindar system, other people work as just laborer or just like peasants. So in that case, situation of peasants and those workers remain less. So that is abolition of Jamindari system. So those mainly reforms given priority in the after independence 5 years plans that initiated by the government. Land reform was the main focus of our first 5 years plan. 5 years plan to improve economic system in India as well as for economic infrastructure, agriculture, etc. So, for mainly economical focus, government initiated 5 years development plan. So, in 5 years development plan, in different 5 years development plans, different agenda taken by the government according to requirement, according to the system. So, in first 5 year plan, abolition of Jamindari as well as land reforms, those were the major priority given. More, the right to inheritance had already led to fragmentation of land holdings, necessitating consolidation of holding. Just I mentioned earlier, because right to inheritance, fragmentation of land means division of land into small parts. Right. So this we need to solve. Instead of that, consolidation of land is required, holding land. The law of lands reform were enacted, but law implementation was lack of lukewarm. Here we know that in our country there are so great laws are there. I am using word great. Yes, the most suitable laws we have, but here we have a drawback that lack of implementation. So same here about the land reforms as well. Laws being were made by the government, but here we know that lack of their implementation. So those farmers are not able to get advantages of such laws. The government of India embarked upon introducing agriculture reform to improve Indian agriculture in 1960s and 1970s. The government had taken actions through various strategies and through programs. Example we can give that the Green Revolution. About the Green Revolution, you learned previously in the ninth standard, as well as we had already brief discussion on the Green Revolution. So Green Revolution basically to introduce modern means of farming in the Indian agriculture to get more productivity on the same pieces of land. Right? Apart from it, there was one more revolution, White Revolution, or called Operation Flood. That is one of the largest dairy industry program introduced by the government of India. And today we know that various cooperative dairies like here Dudhara Dairy, Amul Dairy, and many other dairies are there. Sugam, Sumul, those are the dairies, and those are cooperative dairies. And those dairies industry today is well developed in India, and thanks to that Operation Flood or the or the White Revolution. But this to lead concentration of development in few selected areas. Green Revolution, yes, very successful. We got the result in the production of especially wheat, rye, and some other cereals. But effects of those Green Revolution as well as White Revolution were limited to few areas, concentrated in few areas. Like about the Green Revolution, affected in the Punjab, Haryana, and western part of Uttar Pradesh, mainly concentrated in these areas. Especially that rural areas in India, those untouched areas, isolated areas that still remain the same as they were years ago or centuries ago. So that is the drawback we can count of the Green Revolution. Therefore, in the 1980s and 1990s, a comprehensive land development program was initiated, which introduced both institutional and technological reforms. Provision for crops insurance against drought, flood, fire, cyclone, various diseases. Establishment of Gramin Banks. So comprehensive land development plan that initiated by the government. So what were the major points included in the comprehensive land development program? So first, crop insurance. So crops got insured against the drought, against flood, against various disease, fire or cyclone. Second, establishment of Gramin Bank, rural bank, to provide loans to the farmers, to the needy farmers. Mainly here, one of the major issues about Indian farmers, that is about loans. So Gramin Banks established about loans, and that we will learn in the economics, money and credit in detail. Cooperative societies and various banks for providing loan facilities to the farmers at lower rates of interest. So mainly farmers face that loan issues, higher rates of interest, as well as unable to get loan due to lack of their property, right? So here government introduced Gramin Banks as well as cooperative societies and banks to provide loan facilities at reasonable interest rates and sometimes with the subsidies. Again, I am telling you about this loan in detail. We will learn in the chapter Economics, Money and Credit, third chapter. More Kisan credit card. You all are aware about the credit card. So Kisan credit card, especially that issued for the farmers. So credit card for farmers. So farmers can purchase their requirement like seeds, fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides with the use of card, and they can pay later. So that is a Kisan credit card. Personal accident insurance scheme, PAIS, personal accident insurance scheme, are some other schemes introduced by the government for benefit of farmers. Moreover, special weather bulletins for agriculture. Like nowadays also we know that weather forecast issued by the Meteorological Department of India through radio, through newspapers, nowadays through WhatsApp and other means too. Right? So farmers can act on the basis of those. Like onset of monsoon. They predict, right, that monsoon may arrive in Gujarat by the second week of June. So such kind of prediction, as well as prediction of cyclone, rain. So those things, those weather forecasts help farmers to act on agriculture. More, the government also announced minimum support price (MSP). We have learned in 9th standard in economics about MSP, minimum support price. Means the price declared by the government. On that price, government guarantees to buy their crops. So farmers are encouraged to grow certain types of crops, as well as remunerative and procurement prices for important crops. To check the exploitation of farmers by speculators and mediators. Due to those mediators as well as those brokers, farmers are not able to get a fair price. So government issues minimum support price, remunerative and procurement price for various crops. So those things help to farmers. So here we have seen that technological and institutional reforms. More about this technological and institutional reform, there is one topic, that is Bhudan or Gramdan. Bhudan or Gramdan, I will upload a separate video for this. So stay tuned. If you have any query, kindly send your query to the given number. Thank you so much.